Okay.
Morning, Ed.
May um,
Call me Mitch, by the way.
Bicha. Ito Ned. So, um, for the first question, how can organization prioritize AN investments to ensure they're meeting business goals while staying ahead of technological uh, advances?
All right, so for sure, most of my answers now will be based on my experience with SN Aboitiz Power Group. And so I think I would like to share probably three points, key points on how we started with our data science and AI initiatives. And this is and maybe this is also my sharing in terms of how to prioritize AI. I would like to say that number one would be really invest in data transformation. So even before we actually did the AI thing, we actually started with really making sure that we are able to get value of our data. And that's when we actually started with really architecting the data and putting the data in the cloud. So our data warehouse and our data lake, we put it in the cloud, and we started with descriptive analytics. So it's really more of it was really more of making the reports in real time, making sure that we are able to get data in real time as well. So again, we need organizations, I believe, like based on our experience, really have to really spend on the data transformation strategy. The second one is I'm an advocate of upskilling, and that's the strategy that we actually did in SN Aboitiz Power. So because we believe that the domain experts who has been working in the company for 5, 10, and some 15 years, are really experts about the business. And before, we were just like we're using tools, but they are tools that, sometimes, for example, Excel. So since we are the power industry, we have a lot of data. And SN Aboitiz Power is actually most of our portfolio is hydropower. So data like the weather, data like water, data like we want to forecast rain, we want to forecast how long once it rains somewhere in our area, how long will it take to go to the dam. So we need to be able to manage that. And at that time, way back in a way we're still new in the data science realm. I think we've been doing data science for a long time, but the tools like machine learning and AI, it's just before in 2017 that those were buzzwords to us. So that's why we actually did the upskilling program. And so because we believe that our team members just need to be upskilled to make sure that they understand what AI can do and how we will be able to take advantage of this technology. So that's number 2. So number 3 is I think organizations, like how we did it, we actually started with small use cases. And it means that we actually there are actually, as far as AI is concerned, technologies in terms of technology, it's actually there already. And there are technologies out there where you'll be able to start in a small scale and just scale it up once more use cases once you have more use cases. So by the way, I would like to add on the upskilling part. So we didn't just upskill the people, but it even started with upskilling the executives. So we have this data science for executives so that they will be able to support us. So yeah, those are the 3 key key points that I would like to share in terms of how you can prioritize AI investments.
Okay. What's the biggest challenges you have with Gen AI in terms of operations and integrating into your current systems?
Biggest challenge. Well, one of the, now that we started putting the data in the cloud, okay, so it's really about how we are able to have the quality of data. And what we did is, of course, since I can remember, we actually prioritized data governance policy, making sure that the data owners actually own the data. IT is not the owner of the data. We are just technical stewards of the data.
Yes.
So what we did is that we made sure that we actually sat down with these data owners. They actually, I think in terms of making sure that they're, as far as how they define data quality, we are able to put that in place in our data warehouses. So that is the approach that we have. So that's one challenge. Most of the data right now is actually structured. Now that we are with Gen AI, now we are actually working with unstructured data. And the biggest challenge is to make sure that unstructured data are actually updated. One of the use cases that we have now, we have a proof of concept to make sure that we have we are able to create use Gen AI for knowledge management. Like, we want to make sure we keep the knowledge we have in the organization. There's simple knowledge base like policies and procedures and how to operate a plan, how to troubleshoot a plan. We want to put that we want to put that knowledge with Gen AI on top of it. And of course, we're still working on making sure that how we will be able to govern those data. And of course, it will. I have to say as well that we have to make sure that, as we go into Gen AI in our organization, we want to make sure that, employees are also responsible in making use of that. So I think those are, to me, right now, those are the two big challenges that we have as far as using AI in our organization.
How about the risk management in terms of AI? So how are you able to plan and do a roadmap in terms of managing risks?
Right now, honestly, if I think you can, even with all the presentations by the vendors, all have AI in their applications as systems. And I think most of the business applications, like the applications that we have, also has AI capability. And right now, it's really more of how we are able to properly use it, take advantage of it, because I think that's a game changer. But when you say big challenges in terms of risk, right now it's really more of since we are using AI use cases for business as well. The risk management part that we are looking at is really more of how we can make use of AI to make sure that we will be able to generate, or at least be in terms of opportunity in getting more revenue. So revenue loss, if you will not use this technology and you will, there's a loss of opportunity to gain more revenue. I think that's the greatest risk that organizations should look into. And that's why when we started our initial use cases, our initial machine learning use cases are actually business driven. Since we upskilled our domain experts, they were able to identify use cases that we will be able to make use of in the business. So that was also the time when management were able to fully appreciate what AI is, or in our case, we started with machine learning. So they were able to, now that they see the use case, our business use case, not other use cases, and how it actually provide value in the way we operate, how it provided value in terms of confidence level for the employees, the frontline employees, in terms of the efficiency and looking at proud for those who have built their own model. They're proud that their use cases are actually working. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, since you mentioned upskilling for employees a while ago, what was the reaction of the employees during the upskilling part?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. We had pretty much how do you call it, memorable experience because we did upskilling when we had our lockdown back in 2020. So at that time, it was actually a leap of faith. Like we knew that we had other problems. Maybe we didn't know that I'm going to be affected with COVID. Will we still be buhay pa ba tayo tomorrow? Yeah. So we knew, we recognized those problems. But we took the leap of faith. We actually did upskilling online. So it was purely online. Of course, it took some time. The first batch, it took some time because we have to consider that. We kept on getting the temperature checks like, how are you? The strategy that we did as well is that we didn't mandate it. We didn't mandate the upskilling program. We actually made it voluntary. But of course, we sold the program. Like, data scientist is the sexiest job in the 20th century. And we even had to actually, there was a process of interview din namin, so there was a process of really making sure that they're ready for the program because we knew it's a new capability. It's a capability that we didn't have like 10 years ago. So it required personal time because that's a new capability. And we only, while we would say that, okay, we will free up 20% of your time, but most of these employees are actually, they're part of operations. So sometimes it cannot be helped that they have to prioritize operations first and upskilling second. And so that's why they required to also put up their personal time. But yeah, that's voluntary, and we're proud that when they actually did their own models, ML models, and on my team is responsible for deploying them to production and making sure that it's in terms of security and it's there. We covered it. But in terms of model development, it's not IT, it's the business people who actually lead the development of those models.
Since you mentioned the time during the COVID ages, the dangerous part of our century, do you think it has something to do with the digital transformation of IT, leaning towards artificial intelligence?
Well, at that time we knew that we knew there is a genetic anything that we didn't understand it. But what we knew is that there are tools out there for machine learning already, and technology is there. So in fact, I'm always a believer that embarking on a data science and AI journey, it's a cultural thing, because technology is there already. So I think it's really more of I'm just blessed that management actually saw that. In 2017, we said, terms like data science and machine learning are just really buzzwords to us until we actually embarked on upskilling our people. And did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. The COVID times actually did a lot of transformation in terms of how we do our work. Yes, that's really true.
I think maybe just to add as well, at that time, even prior to the 2020, if you know the power market, before we used to bid on an hourly basis. Now it's a 5-minute basis. So at that time, that's one of the reasons why we have to embark into a data transformation journey, because we want to make sure that we'll be able to sustain our operations from an hourly market to a 5-minute market. So we need to make decisions every 5 minutes to make sure that we are able to optimize be competitive in the market.
Okay. So how about in the area of cybersecurity? Have you ever try applying AI in your organization?
Well, the cool thing is cybersecurity vendors actually has AI in their platforms already. So in fact, we've also embarked into a lot of upgrading to make sure that we are able to take advantage of that. Cybersecurity, AI in cybersecurity is not something that is core to our business. That's why we work with vendor partners for that.
So in terms of using AI in your operations, was there any concern about data privacy? Because I've heard that a lot of organizations are actually looking into AI as part of their digital transformation. Unfortunately, they're also concerned with data privacy.
I have to be honest as well that it's a journey. So we're still in that journey. It's only this year that we will be putting in. In terms of data pipeline. It will be this year that we are working with the data, the HR data. So we look into that, but it's really more of access of data. We have to make sure that in terms of policy, it's clear who has access to data, to the HR data. So we're not we're not a banking institution. So it's really more of how we will be able to get or be efficient in the way we actually manage the HR data. So infrastructure-wise, we also consider that for sure that in terms of where we put the data in our cloud and who can only access that data is part of the policy that you need to ensure it's clear. Okay, so not everybody should have access to those data, or at least if you ask for HR data, there has to be some sort of approval process before you can even say you have access to a specific data set, HR data set. So yeah, we make sure that that's also in place because we also know in terms of confidentiality of data and of course, data privacy of data of the employees.
Okay. This would be my final question. The National Privacy Commission just released their implementing rules and regulation. I think it's number 2024-4. That's wherein they are actually requiring most of the organization to have this group called AI Ethics Board. In your own opinion, do you think it would be applicable right now to have that kind of group to any organization in terms of what we have right now, wherein people are actually looking into AI as part of their roadmap in their digital transformation?
I'm a believer of AI is a game changer. I also want to promote that we need to be responsible in using it. So of course, in cybersecurity, if we are able to make to use AI for our business, these cyber criminals are also using it for their business. So yeah, I support that one. That we need to have clear regulation about how we use AI, and that's also something. This is something that we need to mature as well in honestly, in our organization. We still need to really, we're still in the process of making sure that employees understand that. Because whether we like it or not, AI is there. And in fact, the only thing that we can probably manage or control is that if you are in the office, there are some AI apps that we are actually not allowing employees to use. But when they're at home, when they're using their own network, they're actually using it already. So management should understand that whether they like it or not, it's there already. It's here. So it's really more of how you will be able to encourage people to make use of that in a responsible way. And well, in business terms as well, to make use of that to be more efficient in the way we do things. And especially in Snap, no, since we are now in the, I can't say we're mature, we're already mature, but we're there already. We're, ano ba, 5 years old, so kinder pa lang kami, no, as far as data science and AI is concerned. But now, there's a shift already in terms of people wanting to upskill themselves. Because for those employees that have been upskilled, they actually, they have a different language already. They're the ones pushing for, now we have, of the initiatives is now going to digital twin, for example. So they can understand because they have that concept already. So the rest of the employees that were not upskilled are actually now, they're talagang alam na sila, no, that they want to be upskilled. Otherwise, and I think I believe in the saying, na if you don't learn AI, companies would hire somebody who knows AI. So I think it's really high time to adopt the technology. So yeah, for Snap, I think that's what is happening.
One last question. Do you think our government should look into putting up an AI governance committee or agency that would look into organizations so that there would be regulation in terms of using AI?
Yeah, I think that's not only important but crucial with deepfakes now. Diba? Lahat na pwede i-fake, mag-fake na, diba? So, from voice to facial recognition to... So, I think, yeah, it's a
must.
Yeah, it's a must. So we need to have some, we need to be able to... And for us, of course, since we attended this time, we learned, we need somehow, we're literate, we're some kind of literacy. Let's continue to be literate. Let's continue our how we understand. Let's continue to understand AI, but again, understanding the sense that making use of AI in a responsible way.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Actually, I was the one who authored our AI governance policy and our AI ethics policy, and that's what we're actually looking into. We can use AI, but we must also regulate the use of AI in terms of its capability when it comes to data privacy. So that's really important. And right now, I think the European Union, the AI EU Act, is actually has released on what types of AI can be used in terms of managing the risk. So, in my opinion as well, I think the government should look into the best practices being done by other countries. So, and it's not bad that we copy them. It's normal. That's what we do in the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Our reference was to the GDPR. So, in my opinion, it's no longer something that's optional, but a must that we have that IT governance and ethics policy in a wider range for the whole country.
Then the government is working on it.
Yes. So, I think that's all. Thank you very much.